Hi, I'm Bart Verginsven and I'm the founder and managing director of SP Management Development. Today, as part of my series of videos How to Coach My Staff, I'm going to talk about listening. Besides structuring our coaching conversation, there are three tools we use to coach our staff: listening, asking questions, and giving feedback. Let's talk about listening and more specifically about listening as a coaching manager. Hey Bob, how was your holiday? Oh, awesome. We went to Maldives for 10 days. We arrived in Male, the capital, and had to go by waterplane to our island. The colors of the water are amazing. When we landed, we saw our island, white beach, palm trees, and houses on stilts, in the water. The staff was already waiting for us with welcome drinks. So nice. So we settled in the room. The room had a glass floor so you could see the water with the fish below. We even saw baby sharks. Excuse me, are you listening or not? What? Yes, of course. I just have to answer the WhatsApp. So give me a minute, okay? No, forget it. So what happened? Frank was not listening, and the effect on Bob was that he didn't want to continue with his story. He walked away. Have you ever experienced a conversation with somebody who was not listening to what you were saying? You probably felt the same as Bob. Frustrated, as if you're talking to a brick wall. And you don't want to continue talking. You might even feel angry or disrespected. Given all the listening we do, you would think we'd be good at it. In fact, most of us are not. Research shows that we remember between 25 and 50% of what we hear. That means that when you talk to your boss, your colleagues, your customers or spouse for 10 minutes, they pay attention to less than half of the conversation. Good leaders, good coaches and good salespeople have all the same characteristic. They have two ears and one mouth and they use them in that proportion. They listen more than that they talk. So good listening skills make people feel good or better. You show respect and you show that the other person is important to you. So let's have a look at listening. Hey Bob, how was your holiday? Oh, awesome. We went to Maldives for 10 days. We arrived in Male, the capital, and had to go by waterplane to our island. Wow, this was so beautiful. Colors of the water are amazing. When we landed, we saw our island, white beach, palm trees, and houses on stilts, in the water. The staff was already waiting for us with welcome drinks. So nice. Sounds like paradise. So we settled in the room. The room had a glass floor so you could see the water with the fish below. We even saw baby sharks. Sharks? How big? Much better. This is listening to somebody. Frank shows that he is listening by making remarks and his body language. This is good listening. However, for coaching, we need something extra, a higher level of listening. To transform your listening skills from normal into coaching listening skills, you need to practice active listening. This is where you make a conscious effort to hear not only the words that another person is saying, but more importantly, try to understand the complete message being sent. In order to do this, you must pay attention to the other person very carefully. It's actually a new way of listening. Quiet your mind, the thought processes that are going around in your head. Don't think about how to solve the problem or how have you solved this problem before. Try not to be distracted by whatever else may be going on around you, or by forming counter-arguments, preparing answers that you will make when the other person stops speaking. So it's very important that you show the other person that you are listening. How to do this? Use your facial expression and your body language. You look the person in the eyes. You might say or uh-huh. It doesn't mean that you agree, but it shows that you are listening. You will move your head when you agree. Give feedback to acknowledge that you are listening. Occasionally you will ask a question or give a comment to recap what has been said, to communicate that you have understood the message as well. One of the techniques is paraphrasing. For example, what I'm hearing is, or it sounds like you're saying, that are great ways to reflect back, so you give back what you heard in your own words. Ask questions to clarify certain points. What do you mean when you say, is this what you mean? Yeah? Don't judge or interrupt. Allow the speaker to finish each point before asking questions. And don't interrupt with counter-arguments. Just listen. By doing all this, you show the person that you are listening with respect, listening with the purpose of gathering information. We not only listen to the what, the words or content. No, we also listen to how something is said, meaning we observe non-verbal clues. The way people talk, their tone of voice, their facial expression, their body language. Sometimes it's not what they say, but how they say things. Normally, the non-verbal clues express the feelings of the speaker. Being able to read these clues can help you understand what someone is really trying to say. Now, let's have a look at active listening. I just had a conversation with Frank, but this guy is not listening. Oh, what happened? He asked me about my holiday, so I start telling him about it, and he doesn't listen. He doesn't look at me, he's just busy and playing with his phone. You sound upset. Yes, of course. Why ask me a question when you're not interested in the answer? So Frank asked you a question about your holiday. He showed you that he was not listening, and that made you angry? Yes, I just walked away. So what should I do? What do you want to do? I want to tell him that I felt disrespected. How would that make you feel? Well, I think I will feel better once I have said it to him. Okay, so you're going to tell him that you felt disrespected because he ignored you? What would you like to be the outcome of that conversation? That I feel better and that he understands what he did to me. I will go looking for him after this. What would happen if you have a conversation with him now when you're still angry? I don't think that I'm able to keep my cool. So maybe it's better that I calm down and then go to him. Okay, let me know how it went. So I listen, acknowledge him by looking at him, ask questions, I try to understand him, I paraphrase, I don't give advice, and I don't jump into silences, but let him think. There are a lot of aspects that influence your listening, just to mention a few. Your environment, such as noise made by others, a crowd, high or low temperatures will influence your listening. Also, the light, if it's bright or dim, will influence your listening skills. Now, physiological, for example, when you're tired, or you have a headache, or you are hungry, then it's very difficult to listen to somebody. Psychological, your feelings and personality affects how effective you're listening. For example, if you don't like someone, you listen very different than when you like somebody. Also, certain words might influence your ability to active listening. For example, words that upset you, like foul language, or statements like, I think all white people are arrogant. The true meaning of active listening we can find in an almost 5,000-year-old Chinese character that means listening. In Chinese, in Mandarin, it is pronounced as ting. So let's have a look at this Chinese character. This part of the character means ear. Now, the ears we need to hear the sounds, to hear the words and the tone of voice. This part stands for eye. And eyes we need in listening, in active listening, to observe body language, to observe facial expressions. This part of the character means heart. And we listen with our heart. Why? Because we have a sincere desire to understand the other person. So we listen with our ears, with our eyes, and with our heart. This means one. And one stands for undivided attention. You let the other person feel that you are there to listen to him or her. This part is 10. And 10 means perfect. When you're able to listen with your ears, with your eyes, and with your heart, you are a perfect listener. And the last part means king. We will be respected like a king when we are able to practice active listening. Active listening can be hard work in the beginning, but it's a good investment. It will pay off. A coaching manager who practices active listening will encourage, reflect, paraphrase, and question. It will take effort, but you will build a partnership with your staff that is focused on learning and developing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. You can leave your comments below.